and how are you sure that this girl will access it? If there's a rule that if you want to get your smartphone, get your husband, get married, that is when you'll access your smartphone. So this is also like a challenge to us girls, that if we go to our parents, or if they say that I'll be able to give you a smartphone, but make sure you provide for the necessary money to get your taxes. In this, it also leads us to dangerous risk outside there, which one of our people in our groups mentioned that it may lead to teenage pregnancy. A Bodabona man may say that, you know what, since you have a phone, come to me, I'll provide for you the money of the necessary things that you need. And in order for that, in Uganda, there are no free things, of which you go with what? Your body, of which we are special in a way that our bodies portray our image, portray everything about us. So you can say there are two sides of beauty in us, the inner one and the outside. So in a way that we should learn how to express it. Everything needs sacrifice. That is the most leading thing that we all do. If it wasn't for sacrifice, all of us would have not been here, right? Right? So because of time, I see time is going. I'm very sorry if I won't mention all. Let me give in to the president herself to mention other challenges and the solutions.
Thank you so much, Nelly. And we are having our president walk to the podium to give you her views and her summary of the session. Thank you. Welcome, Claire Akum.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you all. Allow me to introduce myself again. My name is Akumu Claire, and I am a young girl and women advocate from Gallup Initiative, Uganda. I am partially deaf and physically impaired, and I am all for the rights of girls and young women living with disabilities. I am going to be summarizing what all the groups have been discussing, but mainly I'm going to be looking at the way forward. What do we do from now? The first thing would be ensuring that digitalization is inclusive of all, regardless of age, sex, race, and financial status. My colleagues mentioned something about the government reducing the tax and then ensuring that electricity is cheap. So I think all these are aimed at ensuring that digitalization is something that everyone can enjoy, irrespective of who they are or where they come from. And another thing would be to sensitize parents so that they can support their children, especially the girls. Just like Nelly said, there is an issue of parents having a negative attitude towards their children using mobile phones and electronics. But I think the Uganda National Parenting Guidelines can come sensitizing parents on how best they can support their children in using digital means, because it's a changing world. We now have online education, so it's very, very key that parents enter this conversation and support their children. Another thing should be digital literacy lessons should be implemented right from the grassroots. That's pre-primary, primary, tertiary, and secondary schools. And under this, lessons can be given out to young girls and women on how to better use digital platforms. And also another key issue would be digitalization should be tailor-made to cater for young girls and women living with disabilities, like myself and like my beautiful sisters over there. Like I mentioned earlier, I am partially deaf, so I have a hard time using mobile phones. And that gets my mind thinking, what happens to those who cannot hear at all? They are being left out. You're having online education. It needs you to hear what the teacher is saying. So you find that very many girls living with disabilities are being left out, and that needs to change. Also, we think that affirmative action for girls and young women interested in taking up ICT-related studies should be implemented by the government, just like there is the 1.5 points for girls as they join universities, I think the same should be applied to young girls and women who are interested in doing ICT related courses. And this is aimed at breaking the gender gap in the workspaces, yes, because we can justify that there are more men working in ICT related fields than women. So we are looking at how do we ensure that we close the gender gap. And then also I would like to quote what the commissioner from the Ministry of Gender said, that we as young girls and women should report the issues and the challenges or the abuse that we face as we use these digital means. But I'd also like to say it goes beyond reporting. Reporting an issue loses meaning if our issues are buried. Do we agree? So we want to see that when we report about all the abuse that we experience on the internet, can these issues be followed up? Yes, we want our issues to be followed up. And the perpetrators should be punished according to the policies that are set up to protect us as young girls and women. And also, the already existing laws, especially on child pornography, should be reinforced. How many of us knew that there are laws and policies meant to protect us as young girls and women? Please show me your hands. Young girls? Those are few hands. I expected every hand to be up. But that is, it's a revelation that actually young girls and women are not aware of the laws that are put in place to protect you, like the Children's Act. Many of us are not aware of them. So I think more sensitization and reinforcement should be placed on ensuring that all young girls and women are aware of the laws that are put in place to protect them. Because once you are aware of the laws, then you can actually use them to get the change that you want. I think that will be all. I hope I have highlighted all your issues in here. Yes? Young girls, yes? Okay, thank you so much.
Asante sana. Thank you so much, our president, and to the honorable MPs. Right now, before we close, I will apologize in advance, honorable President. There is one girl that requested for 1 minute to talk about what she thinks has to be done before we close this session. You are welcome, my friend.
Thank you very much for the opportunity given to me. Thank you very much for the opportunity given to me. Before I start, let me introduce myself. My name is Nanyanzi Sumaya. I'm from Social Service, Uganda. To add on what the president has said, we the children with disability, we have many problems faced on that digital generation. That digital generation, which includes the televisions, laptops, phones. For example, that television, me myself, I'm disabled with this eye problem. If I remove this specs like this, to face on this, it will be very difficult for me. My eyes will start paining me. In that will make me lose that scene of seeing, which I'll be walking while closing my eyes, calling me that I can't see, which definitely pains me a lot. If the government can do that, I pray that they should add on some specs to the hospitals so that even children with disabilities like me, we can get that opportunity to access that digital generation using that specs, because we all know even children, even big people who are not disabled, that light reflects their eyes inside. You find when you can't see properly, they say she was born when disabled. When it is not like that, clearly when it is the problem comes from the television. To add on the challenges, disabled girls and boys out there, some parents are not very rich, others are rich. Now, for me, I'm not so proud because I have only my mother. She's a single mother, done everything to keep me like this. I thank her because she has done a lot. People used to call her. She produces namagoyas because they cover them with the banana fibers. Friends, it's not true. If it is true, then it is a lie. Because everyone here produces the same which God gives you. We are all the images of God. That digital generation affects everyone, not only the disabled. The challenge, the achievements. We have achieved so much. The government has put a lot of study materials for us, but I thank the organization, Social Service Uganda. They have been a mother providing the home study material for us because other people out there, they don't have that digital generation to use. Even as our friend said, that data is very expensive. It is true, at least some of us, we don't have phones. So my organization, they have done a lot. Continue, I pray the government to add them the materials they need so that all the girls out there can have a better education out there. The digital generation affects even the young ones. The young ones, I mean, the age of 9 to 10. Those girls, they are also affected, even the boys. You see, in Uganda today, they only focus about the number of girls coming out and the number of girls going out. It is not true, our dear friends. Even the low ones, they need that digital generation, that when they grow up, they can know what they are going to do in terms of that generation. If the government comes out to teach them how it is done and to provide that material, it will be better the country to develop. I thank you so much for listening. God bless you.
Claps for Sumaya. Thank you so much. Thank you all the honorables. Thank you for the additional points from Nanyanzi Sumaya. Thank you so much. The 2 points I've got from you are the children with disabilities have issues with the digital generation and cannot access them without assistive devices like the phones, like the, what are they called? Braille. Do brailles also go digital? There are also some special phones that people with disability use. So I've taken note of that point. And then also utilize the digital generation to give the right information about children with disability. For instance, children with albinism. We should utilize the digital era or platform or tools to give the right information so that wrong information is not going out like what they were telling Sumaya's mother. Did I capture your points? Yes, they were very fundamental points. Thank you so much. And honorable members, our speakers, Nachibirige Joanita Fajo, thank you. Akumu Afoyo Chan Claire, thank you. Laila Ismail Yiga, thank you. Ngabire Nadine, thank you. And Apili Nelly, thank you for those summaries. So I have 9, let's first clap for them. Asante sana. Then I also had one key point online. I recognize that point as well. And I want to acknowledge that it has been summarized by the President, Claire, here. So from your points, team, the key speakers, we have 9 fundamental points. Actors that are in the room, both state and non-state, please listen to these points and feel free to correct me if I captured it right or wrong, okay? 1, ensuring digitalization is inclusive, irrespective of age, location, size, household income. 2, sensitize parents so that they do not have negative attitude towards children using digital tools because the world is changing and it is key that parents support. 3, digital education should be introduced from the early childhood level to primary, secondary, and tertiary. I think Sumaya also just emphasized that. And then affirmative action for girls and young women interested in studying ICT-related courses so as to break the gender space in the ICT-related field. The digital platforms should be used for reporting violence against children, but also these reports should be followed up and perpetrators punished according to the policies set. 7, the already existing laws, e.g. child pornography, should be enforced and awareness created. Plus the 2 points that Nanyanzi Sumaya mentioned. 1 was making the assistive devices like the specs she shared accessible plus other devices to children with disability, and then utilizing the digital platforms for spreading the right information on children with disability, for example, children with albinism. There are so many myths that we have around children with disability. We look at them as a curse, we look at them as, I know, banana plantations. Maya just gave us the information. So she's saying we use it as government, as actors, to demystify, put away the wrong information and put the right information that Apili said they are able, if she's given the supportive devices, they are able if they are given the wheelchairs, they are able if they are able to get the digital brailles. I hope I use the right word. I'm looking this side, plan, so that I'm using the right word. So thank you so much. We are running out of time. Thank you for these great points. We shall take them on. We shall make sure they are visible and they are put to value. Right, Kevin? Right plan? Right, Sashea? Yes. Right, SOS? Yes. So these are very fundamental points. We are going to put them to use. You've heard from them, yes? And from ministry? Yes. Minister of Gender is online. I also have them somewhere. Yes? Good. Okay. And UNICEF? Otto. Okay. So we are going to take this up and